Welcome to today's episode, where we'll be examining one of the most profound events in world history, the fall of the Roman Empire. For over a millennium, Rome stood as the epitome of power, culture, and civilization. But by the 5th century AD, the once mighty empire had crumbled, leaving a legacy that would shape the future of Europe and the world. What caused this great empire to fall? Was it a gradual decline or a sudden collapse? Join me as we delve into the complex web of factors, political, economic, military, and social, that led to the end of the Roman Empire and the beginning of the Middle Ages. To understand the fall of the Roman Empire, we must first appreciate the extent of its power at its height. By the 2nd century AD, under the rule of the five good emperors, Rome had reached its greatest territorial extent. The empire stretched from the British Isles in the northwest to Egypt in the southeast, from the Atlantic coast of Europe to the banks of the Euphrates in the east. Rome was not just a political and military powerhouse, it was also a center of culture, law, and commerce. The Pax Romana, or Roman peace, which lasted for over 2 centuries, allowed for unprecedented economic growth, infrastructure development, and cultural exchange. The vast network of Roman roads facilitated trade and communication across the empire, while the Mediterranean Sea, referred to as Mare Nostrum, or Our Sea, by the Romans, became a Roman lake, teeming with ships carrying goods and people. However, beneath this facade of stability and prosperity, cracks were beginning to appear. The sheer size of the empire made it increasingly difficult to govern effectively. Local autonomy was necessary, but it often led to corruption and inefficiency. The costs of maintaining a vast army and extensive infrastructure were enormous, and as new conquests slowed, the flow of wealth into Rome began to dwindle. The 3rd century AD marked a turning point in the fortunes of the Roman Empire. This period, known as the crisis of the 3rd century, was characterized by political instability, economic decline, and external threats that shook the very foundations of the empire. One of the most significant factors was the rapid succession of emperors, often referred to as the barracks emperors. Between 235 and 284 AD, Rome saw over 20 emperors, many of whom came to power through military coups. This constant turnover weakened central authority and led to a period of civil wars, as rival factions vied for control of the empire. Economically, the empire was in turmoil. The debasement of the currency led to rampant inflation, eroding the wealth of citizens and undermining the stability of the economy. Trade routes were disrupted by barbarian invasions and internal strife, leading to shortages of goods and a decline in urban populations as people fled to the countryside to escape the chaos. Externally, the empire faced growing threats from all sides. In the east, the Sassanid Empire posed a significant challenge, while in the west and north, various Germanic tribes, including the Goths and Vandals, began to press against the Roman borders. The traditional Roman legions, once the backbone of the empire's military might, were stretched thin and increasingly reliant on barbarian mercenaries, whose loyalty was often questionable. Amidst this crisis, one emperor managed to bring some stability, Diocletian. His reforms, including the division of the empire into the tetrarchy and the strengthening of the administrative apparatus, provided temporary relief. However, these measures were not enough to prevent the eventual decline. Diocletian's most lasting legacy was the formal division of the Roman Empire into the Eastern and Western empires. Recognizing the difficulty of managing such a vast territory, Diocletian created the tetrarchy in 293 AD, with 2 senior emperors, called Augusti, and 2 junior emperors, called Caesars. This system was intended to ensure more efficient governance and smoother succession, but it also laid the groundwork for the eventual permanent split of the empire. After Diocletian's abdication, the system quickly unraveled, leading to further power struggles. By the time Constantine the Great emerged as the sole ruler in 324 AD, he had moved the capital of the empire from Rome to Byzantium, which he renamed Constantinople. This new capital in the east reflected the shifting center of power and the growing importance of the eastern provinces. Constantine's reign also saw the rise of Christianity as the dominant religion in the empire, culminating in the Edict of Milan in 313 AD, which granted religious tolerance to Christians. This had profound implications for the future of the empire, as the Christian Church became a unifying force in the east while the western half of the empire continued to struggle with political and military challenges. After Constantine's death, the empire was once again divided, this time permanently. The Western Roman Empire, with its capital in Rome and later Ravenna, and the Eastern Roman Empire, with its capital in Constantinople, developed along increasingly divergent paths. The East, with its wealthier cities, more secure borders, and stronger administrative structures, managed to survive and even thrive, while the West descended into a spiral of decline. The final blow to the Western Roman Empire came from the barbarian invasions. For centuries, the Romans had managed to keep various Germanic tribes at bay through a combination of military force, diplomacy, and bribes. However, by the 4th and 5th centuries, these strategies were no longer effective. The pressure from these tribes, exacerbated by the movement of the Huns into Europe, led to a series of invasions that the Western Empire was ill-equipped to repel. One of the most significant events was the crossing of the Rhine River by the Visigoths in 376 AD. Fleeing the Huns, the Visigoths sought refuge within the Roman Empire but were mistreated by Roman officials, leading to a rebellion. In 378 AD, they inflicted a devastating defeat on the Roman army at the Battle of Adrianople, killing the Eastern Emperor Valens. This battle marked the beginning of the end for the Western Roman Empire, as it demonstrated the vulnerability of the Roman military. In 410 AD, the Visigoths, under the leadership of Alaric, sacked Rome itself, a symbolic event that shocked the Roman world. Although the city was no longer the political capital of the empire, its sack was seen as a sign of Rome's declining power and prestige. This was followed by further invasions by the Vandals, who established a kingdom in North Africa and sacked Rome again in 455 AD. The final act came in 476 AD, when the last Roman emperor in the west, Romulus Augustulus, was deposed by the Germanic chieftain Odoacer. This event is traditionally marked as the end of the Western Roman Empire. While the Eastern Roman Empire, or Byzantine Empire, would continue for another 1,000 years, the fall of the West marked the end of ancient Rome as a political entity. The fall of the Western Roman Empire had profound and far-reaching consequences for Europe and the Mediterranean world. Politically, the vacuum left by the collapse of central authority led to the rise of various successor states, often ruled by barbarian kings who adopted many aspects of Roman culture, including Roman law and Christianity. Economically, the collapse of Roman infrastructure and trade networks led to a significant decline in urban life and commerce. Many cities were abandoned or greatly reduced in size, as the population shifted to rural areas. The decline in trade also contributed to the fragmentation of the European economy, leading to the development of localized economies based on agriculture. Culturally, the fall of Rome marked the beginning of what is often referred to as the Dark Ages, a period characterized by a decline in learning and the arts. However, it is important to note that while the Western Empire fell into decline, the Eastern Empire continued to preserve and transmit much of Roman and Greek knowledge. The Byzantine Empire, with its capital in Constantinople, became the center of Orthodox Christianity and a beacon of learning during this period. The fall of Rome also had a lasting impact on the development of the Christian Church. The Church, which had become increasingly powerful during the later years of the empire, filled the power vacuum left by the collapse of Roman authority. The Bishop of Rome, or the Pope, emerged as a central figure in the Christian world, laying the groundwork for the medieval papacy's influence in European politics. Despite its fall, the legacy of the Roman Empire continues to shape the modern world in numerous ways. The Roman legal system, with its principles of justice and rights, became the foundation for many legal systems in Europe and beyond. Roman engineering, including roads, aqueducts, and architectural techniques, influenced construction for centuries. The Latin language, once the language of the Roman Empire, evolved into the Romance languages, Italian, French, Spanish, Portuguese, and Romanian, and continued to serve as the language of scholarship and religion in Western Europe for centuries. Even today, Latin is used in scientific terminology and is studied as the root of many modern languages. The Roman Empire's political and administrative systems also left a lasting impact. The concept of a centralized, bureaucratic state with a complex legal code influenced the development of modern governments. The idea of Roman citizenship, with its associated rights and responsibilities, became a model for later concepts of citizenship and governance. Perhaps most significantly, the Roman Empire's embrace of Christianity laid the foundation for the spread of the Christian religion throughout Europe and the world. The establishment of the Church as a powerful institution within the empire ensured that Christianity would survive the fall of Rome and continue to influence the development of Western civilization. The division between the Western and Eastern churches, which began in the Roman period, would also have profound implications for the future of Christianity, leading to the split between the Roman Catholic Church and the Eastern Orthodox Church. Finally, the idea of Rome itself, the eternal city, continued to captivate the imagination of people long after the empire's fall. The dream of a united Europe, the concept of a universal empire, and the cultural ideal of Romanitas, Romanes, all have their roots in the Roman Empire and have reappeared in various forms throughout history, from the Holy Roman Empire to the European Union. The fall of the Roman Empire was not a single event, but a complex process that unfolded over centuries. It was the result of a multitude of factors, political, economic, military, and social, that gradually weakened the empire and led to its eventual collapse in the West. Yet, even in its decline, the Roman Empire left an indelible mark on the world. Its legacy can be seen in our laws, languages, religions, and political institutions, as well as in the very idea of what it means to be civilized. As we look back on the rise and fall of one of the greatest empires in history, we are reminded of the fragility of power and the enduring influence of culture. The story of Rome is not just a tale of conquest and collapse, it is a testament to the resilience of human civilization and the ways in which the past continues to shape our present and future. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the history of the Roman Empire. I hope this exploration has given you a deeper understanding of the forces that shaped this great civilization and the ways in which its legacy continues to influence our world today.